Hey guys, Phil with Tactical Civilian Training, back with episode number 2. Today I want to talk to you about jerking the trigger. Jerking the trigger is a term that we use when we have improper trigger press. Now typically what we're looking for when we have our trigger press is going to be that we press the trigger straight to the back with no extra movements going on. Jerking the trigger happens when while we're pulling the trigger, right as we think it's about to break, we give it something a little extra in there, which tips the nose of the gun down, typically to the left, which means that our shots, instead of going here, are going to drop down and to the left a little bit. So if that's happening to you at the range, you're jerking the trigger a little bit. Now, how this happens usually comes from fatigue. When we're in our position, our normal shooting position, all of these muscles from the shoulders down through the arms, the wrists, the hands, even the fingers will fatigue out fairly quickly, simply because being in this position isn't normal. So as we're here, we may handle the first 10, 15, 20, maybe even the first 100 rounds before we actually start feeling that fatigue coming on. Usually we don't even know that it's happening, but what happens is as we begin to fatigue out, we begin to tense up a little bit more, we grip just a little bit tighter, and what happens is the normal wiggle, the normal shake that we have when we're holding this position just gets worse. And so as we're trying to line up the sights, we have our sights lined up perfectly just like this for the first few shots, and as fatigue starts to set in, the wiggle that we have, the normal movement that's going on in here, just seems to get worse and worse and worse. And what we end up doing without even thinking about it is we end up trying to time this out. So as the front sight is kind of dancing around, the front of the gun is moving around, we'll time it out until we hit that perfect spot where we think it's lined up, and we squeeze that trigger really fast to get it to shoot at that one moment when the sight is actually lined up. And so what happens is we squeeze that trigger really fast, shot goes off, and down to the left a little bit. That's it. Jerking the trigger. Pretty simple. Catch us next time. We're going to talk about grip and how to fix jerking the trigger and anticipation recoil. Thanks for watching. I'm Phil with Tactical Civilian Training.